Hey guys, so I'm going to share with you today my Roth IRA high yield portfolio. And I have a few accounts, and this account in particular is designed for high yield investing. And the reason for that is I'll share with you a video. I'll probably link it to a card up here of how my accounts are situated and what their purpose is. And the purpose, for different sections of my retirement. This one will be my final account that will last that would provide income from age 62 to death. And so in this account, I'm solely focused on income. I'd like to get as high of a dividend as I can without having dividend cuts. And I'll share with you some situations here where it's worked and sometimes it hasn't. But I have my wife in a Roth as well. Her Roth is mainly the S&P 500 and a couple of dividend stocks. I have my M1 Finance account, which I had a video on that I have now converted to all ETFs. It's dividend focused as well, but it has a growth bent to it. And this one is just going to be high yield and income. I'm not recommending that anybody do this because it is risky for sure. But I'm not very concerned with share price. And I'm going to leave another video, I might card it up here as well, of what you need to look for when you're investing for dividends and the accumulation of shares of stock, in the beginning stages, and what you want to look for. So without further ado, I'll give you some updates. Right here we got, let me get my pointer. My first stock, my biggest stock, is going to be MO, which is Altria Group. It paid a dividend. I got $38.20 for a grand total of income so far this year of $62.32. So that $32 bought me about 0.9 of a share. So I went from 55.48 to 56.3. And that increased my yearly income almost $3. And the yield on cost barely moved. 7.1% was my previous, and now it's 7.12. Altria Group is a dividend king. Increased it for 50 years. So that's Altria Group. Next up we have SKT, which is Tanger Factory Outlets, a REIT, a mall. Well, it's not a mall REIT. It's an outlet mall REIT. And they're the only outlet mall REIT that there is. And they've become a dividend aristocrat. They increased their dividend for 26 years. No changes here from last time. I get $142 a year off of them. Yield on cost of 9.65%. Next up is SRET. This is a Global X fund. It's a small medium cap REITs. I believe it's global. I have 100 shares. I get $118.50 a share income, not a share, total income yearly. I did receive $10.06 as a dividend so far, and this is a monthly pair. And I have this going straight to cash. I'm not reinvesting the dividends. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's a Global X thing that doesn't offer a drip to Chase where I have this Roth IRA, But there are some funds that you're not able to reinvest the dividends automatically. So right now this is just dumping into cash, which is fine. My yield on cost is 7.9%, so no problems there. Next up was a big change, and that was GEO. It's a private prison REIT, and I picked up 31 more shares of that. So now I own 100.39 shares. They're actually paid a dividend to me today, but this update is for October, so I'll update that next month when we do November's update. So my purchase of 31 extra shares brings me up to 100 shares. Income went from 114.03 to 192.75. I have so far this year received 23.04, and with the purchase of that 31 additional shares, my yield on cost went from 9.49% up to 10.45%. And this one's being hammered just because of political risk. Apparently Democrats don't like private prisons or prisons, period, for some odd reason. I guess they don't make money on it, so not to get political. Next one is my thorn in my side, and this is what you want to avoid in a high yield account, and this wasn't even a high yield pair. That's Nokia, and it's a small position. It's only 152 shares. Previous to the dividend suspension, they were paying $30.50 a year. Now that is $0. I did receive $16.90 while I've owned it. Yield on cost was 3.55%, and now it's 0. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't like that I have a holding in my high yield Roth IRA that doesn't pay a dividend, but I'm down 35% on these shares, so I kind of just want to sit on it since it's such a small, I mean, you can do the math on there. It's not a very big position, so I'll probably just sit on it and just ride it out and see what happens. They say they're only going to suspend the dividend for 2 quarters, but we shall see. So there's the issue with dividend. That's funny though, because I actually expected more of this to be a cut or this one to be a cut, and not Nokia. So this one kind of surprised me, but I don't know what to do with it. I'll probably just let it sit there. And not last but not least, but next up, oil and gas energy, Vermilion Energy from they're actually an international oil and gas energy company. And they reported earnings and they got beat up. So I'm slow. Well, I don't have a whole lot of money in here free, but I bought 10 extra shares. That brought me up to 40. Let me change that while I'm in here. That brought me up to 40 shares. And it gives me a yearly income. It went from $62.16 to $83.44. And I received $5.22 in income from that, and I'm having that go into cash as well. So this is going into a cash bucket. And with the purchase of those 10 extra shares, my yield on cost went from 13.62% to 14.1%, and they do pay monthly, which is nice. So with these two, the SRET and the VET, I'll be getting, I don't know, about $15 a month into my cash account. And last but not least, I didn't share this in my last videos because I didn't want people to think that this was a great idea. But I do reserve a couple $100 just to play, just to gamble, really. And I use it for penny stocks. Usually biopharmaceutical, biotech stocks or whatever you want to call them. Cheap stocks where I can pick up 100, 200 shares and, hopefully it'll it'll have a bounce and make 50 or $60. I've done it quite a few times this year. I've made about, I don't know, I mean, you're only talking a couple $100, but I've turned that couple $100 into a few hundred of profit. So, but I don't want to do it any bigger than that, because I just want to like scratch that itch of that gambling itch. You know what I'm saying? So what I did is I bought 100 shares of Office Depot, and it gives it's actually a good pair, 4.76% dividend. So it'll give me $10 a year. I have swing traded this before, and so I've collected $2.43 in dividends from them this year. And as I said, spec and a trade. And so they're having, I think they're having earnings out Tuesday, and we'll see how it goes. It's either going to turn into a trade where I sell it off for, $30, $40, $50 profit, or I keep it until it does. I'm an Office Depot bull. I know a lot of people are going to be like, what? But I think there's value here. Their PE is like down in like 5 or 6 PE, and I'd like to know more, because they've partnered with Alibaba. I'd like to know more about that and how that affects and their operations and how they're taking advantage of that. Maybe we'll hear that on the conference call coming up. But I like Office Depot. So with that, this has my yearly income last month was $653.61. And it is now $736.10, which yield on cost previous was 8.06%, and it is now 8.05. And I think that was mainly due to the Nokia dividend suspension. So there you have it, guys. Roth IRA high yield update. Like I said, I don't suggest anybody do what I do. But if you have any questions, leave them down below. Have any suggestions, leave them down below. And we'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye-bye.